Hi, Lexi Love here, and we're going to be talking about Circe by Madeline Miller. So, this is actually a book about Circe, the character from Greek mythology. If you're not familiar with Circe, I'll give you a very brief synopsis of her without trying to give away too much of the book, which is about her life. So, let's delve into it a little. So, her father is Helios, who is the Titan sun god, kind of. So, like his whole job at the time when she is a child is to pull the carriage that carries the sun through the sky. And then at night, he runs his little like corner of the realm, and his wife is this nymph who sucks. And Circe has multiple siblings, and all of them also pretty much suck, for lack of a better term. So, for reasons that I will not be expressing here without spoiling the book, is Circe is eventually like banished. She gets in trouble for something she does, and she is forced to live on this island away from everybody, and she's like stranded. She can't do anything, she can't go anywhere, none of the above. Until her sister actually breaks that promise and causes mayhem. If you know anything about Greek mythology, you'll already know at least bits and pieces of what happens here because it does follow multiple Greek mythology stories that Circe is involved in, including the whole Icarus story, which, if you're unfamiliar, the boy and his father, Daedalus, who create wings to escape their prison, and then Icarus falls to his doom because of flying too high to the sun. Like just things like that. You do get bits and pieces and snippets of Greek mythology that even she's not entirely involved in, but she kind of wanted to tie a little bow at the end. The way Madeline Miller writes this, the best way for me, at least how I interpreted it, was how it felt like each chapter was a bullet point of Circe's life, and that chapter was just like going more into depth on that. Like it felt very much like a presentation, if that makes any sense, rather than just like, how most fantastical novels really like flow really well. Every chapter is very like close knit together, but Circe is a being who lived for thousands of years. So her story is much harder to make it flow. So there's a lot of like time jumps and stuff, but we don't feel it as much as a reader, but you definitely feel it through Circe and her actions. Did I still love the book? Absolutely. Am I going to give it a 10 out of 10? No, probably not. I personally do love Greek mythology. I was a Percy Jackson kid growing up. I always imagined that I would be an Athena child. I'm definitely not today. I'm not smart enough for that. But I did I did really enjoy it, but it's also not my favorite book of all time. I'm not going to sit here and reread this book 800 times. I related to Circe a lot on an emotional level. I really enjoyed her character, and especially her whole like storyline with Odysseus was probably my favorite portion of the entire book, which is most of the end. But yeah, I just recommend giving it a read if you haven't read it before, or if you're even the slightest bit interested in Greek mythology. I think you will enjoy this one. But I'm going to give it a good solid 8 out of 10.